from SirusXM studios in Los Angeles, California. This is Volume West with your host, Yahoo music editor, Lÿndsey Parker.
Welcome back to Volume West from home, and now joining us from her home, which is a very impressive bookshelf that I can see on Zoom right now. Speaking of books, the vocal Bible herself, Brandy Norwood.
Thank you. How you doing?
Bible. So thank you, Brandy, for doing this under such strange circumstances and for, like I said, inviting me into your home via Zoom. I'm totally excited to talk to you because, so you have a new song out today. It is called Baby Mama. It has Chance the Rapper on it, and people are really excited.
Thank you for saying that. I'm very excited. I haven't had new music out for 8 years. So
wow,
it has been a long time coming. So it is time. And I'm happy that it's the single with Chance. Baby Mama is such a powerful message, celebrating the strength and independence of all mamas out there that are holding it down for their babies and doing their thing and looking good in the process.
Are you timing this with Mother's Day? Mother's Day is coming up.
Absolutely. I think it's perfect timing for Mother's Day. And, it's featuring Chance the Rapper, who is a family guy who's all about, loving the mother of his children and just being there. And I thought he did a great job with the record. So I'm looking forward to seeing what everybody thinks about it. And
so how did you and Chance link up? Like, did you guys know each other before, or did he reach out to you? Did you reach out to him?
He reached out to me about the very first song that I ever put out, I Want to Be Down. He wanted to sample something from that song. And we talked on FaceTime, and I just really loved his energy. And, he's always shown so much love and always paid homage to, my previous music. And I told him, I was like, look, I'm going to need you for this up and coming song that I have. And he loved the song, and he did such a phenomenal job.
It's interesting. You were saying how Chance has paid homage to you. And in the last few years, I've really noticed that a lot of really cool people have been paying tribute to you, like mentioning you in interviews and citing you as an influence. Solange was one of them, Miguel, Rihanna, I think even Frank Ocean, and they've all given you props. And like you say, it's been 8 years. So I hate to use the word comeback because that makes it seem like you went away. But, do you think the time is right for you to come back? Do you think the world is really excited and ready for what you have to offer?
I definitely feel like, this is a great time for me to share in music. It took me a while because I wasn't pleased with everything that was going on in my music connection. I didn't feel like I was really connecting to the kind of music that I wanted to do. And so even though it's been a long time, I feel comfortable now putting something new out because I believe in the music that I've been doing. And it is great to hear the love and the respect from artists that I love and respect. I love everyone that you mentioned. That you said mentioned me. I love all of them. They all have something unique and different that they've brought to this game, and not fearful at all. And I love that about the artists that you mentioned. They're not afraid to be themselves and be authentic. And for me, that's what I've been doing. I've been waiting until that special time where I could just be completely myself. And this is the time.
Any other collaborations on? I assume there's an album in the works.
There is.
Anyone you could let me know?
It's Chance the Rapper. It's my daughter Sarah, and,
nice.
And those are the only two collaborations that I have on the album.
So you said that you weren't happy with the music you were trying to make over the last few years. So I'm wondering, why was that? And then, of course, how did you finally get out of that funk?
Well, for me, it was just about finding the sound, finding the songs that I felt moved me, and I wasn't really connected like that. And I don't think that I think I was overthinking, and, it happens when you've been gone for a long time and you feel like, this might be my last project. This might be, the only, chance that I have. So, I was very nervous about not putting out the right kind of music. And it happens to every artist where you feel like you've gotten like some type of block, or you feel like you're not connecting the way you should. And, I had to pull myself out of that.
And you did pull yourself out of it. How did you do that?
I'm here. I just kept with it. I didn't try to rush out. I just kept taking my time. And then I was a part of I had to get out of this crazy connection musically. I had to really take my time and get out of that situation. And then now, I have my own label, and I had to get the right team and partner up with the right label. And I did that. So it was a process, but I'm thankful. I wouldn't change it. Everything that I went through got me to where I am now, where I feel so great and positive about the music that I'm about to put out.
So what's been the reaction so far? I know like the song only just dropped, it dropped today, but there was a teaser that went out about a month and a half ago, and everybody got excited just for that. So like, what's been the reaction so far?
I appreciate that because it just makes me feel good to have fans that have been rocking with me for a while. So I really hope that they like it. They seem to like the beat, what they've heard, the beat so far. So.
It's interesting. In the past, you've worked with some really big producers, and sometimes kind of at the beginning of their careers, like Rodney Jerkins, Timbaland. I think you even worked with Kanye before he was even famous for being a rapper. So you obviously have quite an ear.
I know how to pick them, for sure. It's been great to work with, incredible producers who just get me and who I get. It's great to just have a chemistry. And, chemistry is God-given. So I'm always blessed to work with people that I have great chemistry with. And with this album, I worked with a brand new producer who's responsible for a lot of the work that Her has done. His name is DJ Camper. He's amazing. And so I had a great time working with him. He did the majority of the album. And I had such a connection with him in music. Like we have our own sound that I can't wait for people to hear. It's different. It's different than anything. And then Hit Boy, who did Baby Mama, he's just a timeless producer, a hip hop musical guy. And I love his work.
So why do they call you the vocal Bible? Like, where did that come from?
I have no idea where that came from. I just started hearing it a lot. And I know that that title sent me into a depression because I was like, oh my God, I have so much to live up to, the vocal Bible. That's something to call someone. So I started to feel the pressure of having to live up to that. But I guess it just made me a stronger vocalist, going forward. So I appreciate it, but it definitely put me in a oh my God, a fright for a second.
All right, I'm sorry to bring it up. I didn't mean to add to any pressure.
Oh no, it's fine now. I'm good with it now. I actually like it now when people say that. Like no one's ever introduced me as the vocal Bible before except for you. So I was like, wow, okay.
All right, happy to do that then. So, okay, this is weird, but I mentioned that there are all these different people who have cited you as an influence. And there's one that I read that kind of blew my mind. Did you ever hear that John Frusciante from the Red Hot Chili Peppers said that you were the influence on his guitar work for Stadium Arcadium? Like, I read that. I'm curious, like, have you ever met him? Have you ever talked to him and asked him about that?
I haven't. Have always wanted to meet him. I was so shocked. Actually, I saw Chris Rock. We were both in New York, and we have the same voice doctor. So I was walking in, he was walking out. He was like, "Do you know my friend, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, loves you to death?" And that was the first person that I heard it from, that he was liked my music or my voice or whatever. And I was blown away. So I would love to meet him one day and work with him. That would be so cool. All these people that like my voice, I'm like, well, hit me up. I would love to do some music with you guys.
All right. Well, I know someone quite well who knows John Frusciante, so perhaps I could hook this up. I'm serious. It would be a career high for me if I were able to make this happen.
Come on, Lÿndsey, you can hook that up, girl.
Oh, I'm going to hook it up. I know Chad Smith. I don't know if you know this, but Chad Smith, the drummer from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, he used to co-host the show. So seriously, I'm going to text Chad after this. I'm going to say, hey, make this happen.
I would love that. I would love that.
Oh my God, you heard it here first, guys. We're going to make this happen. Okay, now I know you said that you don't have many collaborators on this album coming up, but who are some of your dream collaborators? It could be in any genre, any type of music.
Sade. I would love to do something with her. Like, she's one of my favorite singers. Her tone is just unmatched. I would love to work with her. And I'm pretty sure I would I would love to work with a lot more people. But I think you should work on that Red Hot Chili Peppers collaboration. I think that would be like I'm going to really hold you to that.
All right, don't worry. Seriously, I'm going to text chat after the show. I don't know if you know this, but John Frusciante, he recently rejoined Red Hot Chili Peppers after being out of the band for about 10 years. And I don't know what's going on now with the pandemic, if they've put a pause on things, but they are supposedly working on a new album that's supposed to come out this year. So I think it could happen.
That'd be awesome.
I'm going to make it happen. So I know I'm kind of going to put you on the spot. It's kind of a loaded question, but do you feel like you're finally getting the credit as an innovator that you deserve?
You know what? I don't think about that. I try not to think about that because I feel like what's inside of me, the gifts that I've been given, it's almost like to like own those gifts and to make it about me. It just comes off so not the way I feel. Like I'm a humble person and I just want to do what I do to serve people and be the vessel that, that I can be to just share my music. And that's all. It's not about the credit. It's nice when people appreciate my work. It's nice when people say nice things about the things that I've done. But I'm going to always be the kind of artist that puts 1,000% into what I do. I'm going to always be careful with the music that I put out there. And not careful in the sense of safe, but careful in the sense of caring about what it is that I'm putting out to the world. And that's what matters to me. The credit, if I get it, fine. If not, fine. My job is to touch the people who hear my music. And that's it.
So how were you able to navigate from being a teen star and kind of labeled a teen star and also a TV star to where you are now? Because not everyone does that successfully. It's not an easy path. What obstacles did you face, or did you?
Well, I had a lot of obstacles because I grew up in the public eye with this like perfect image, and nobody is perfect. No matter how much of a role model you try to be, you're going to make mistakes. But, there was this image that followed me to be like this perfect person all the time. And when I started to make mistakes, I started to go through things in the public eye, and people, could see that I'm a person just like, the next person. But I think when I first came out, my music was authentic. And so I feel like I've always been taken serious as an artist. I played a iconic character on television, this Black girl with braids that, spoke about so many issues, not just in the Black community, but just in the teenage world, period, and just family. And so I think the work that I did was serious. It wasn't just some play around, just, I'm just a popular teenage star. It was serious work.
Well, I am really enjoying this conversation, so please, Brandy, stick around. I'd love to chat with you some more. We will be right back with more Volume West from home.
Live from SirusXM Studios in Los Angeles, California, this is Volume West with your host, Yahoo music editor, Lÿndsey Parker.
Welcome back to Volume West from Home. Once again, I'm joined by Brandy, the vocal Bible Norwood. And before the break, we were talking about Moesha and how groundbreaking it was for TV. So I'm wondering, which came first for you as a first love? Was it acting or was it music?
Well, singing was my main thing. I always wanted to sing, and I started in church. So anything that could get me closer to my singing dream was what I wanted to do. So acting came first. I actually was on a show called Thea the first time, I was ever on the screen. And from there, the show was canceled for like a year. The show got canceled within a year. And then from there, I started to do my singing. And the singing took off for me. And then I was able to do Moesha and add the singing and all of that together. So I was able to do both things. But singing is my first love, my first passion. That's never going to change.
Well, there's a song from those early days. It's kind of funny. It's sort of making its own comeback, so to speak, Sitting Up in My Room, which is now like a quarantine anthem. Tell me about this thing called the Sitting in My Room Challenge.
Yes, my fans actually started a Sitting Up in My Room challenge. And I was like, this is very fitting for what we're going through right now. And then the whole Babyface, Teddy Riley battle, it was like a whole Sitting Up in My Room thing.
So I grew up in Los Angeles, so I'm wondering what it was like for you growing up in LA. What part of town did you grow up in?
I grew up in Carson, California. I had a interesting time growing up in Carson, California, because I was going to school in Hollywood and I was, living in Carson. So I had both worlds at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yes, so you properly went to high school, not in the suburbs like I did, but in the epicenter of Hollywood, Hollywood High, on the corner of Sunset and Highland. What was that like?
I mean, that was the first year, ninth grade was the first year I started to feel like, okay, I like Hollywood. I like, the versatility, different backgrounds, different cultures of people. It was so cool. And that was the first year I never got bullied. So,
Ever got bullied?
I was bullied from the time I started school until the ninth grade. In ninth grade, I wasn't bullied. I don't know what happened. I guess God answered my prayers because I couldn't take it anymore. Like my school days were so hard because of the bullying, but I made it in Carson. And then when I went to seventh grade, I went to Bancroft Junior High, which is right down the street from Hollywood High. I was bullied there a lot. I was hiding in the teacher's parking lot when I was in junior high school, but don't feel bad for me, girl. I made it. I made it out of there. I made it on out of there, girl.
You very clearly made it out, but what did the kids do? What they
just a lot of teasing my looks and, just a lot of putting me down, pushing and shoving, and a lot of boys were bullying me as well. So it just wasn't pleasant, but it gave me that urge and that yearn to do something, to make something of myself. And the only thing I had going for me was singing. So I just was like, well, I'm going to focus on this. And if I focus on this long enough, then something has to happen.
Well, obviously something happened. But I can't think of a better revenge story than before you were even out of your teens, when you were still literally high school age. You had all this success. You had a TV show. You had hit songs. I mean, I know you didn't do it for revenge.
I didn't do it for revenge.
There had to be, maybe I'm just petty, but there had to be something vindicating about it. And I mean, did anyone ever reach out to you? Did any of these bullies, these mean kids, like who teased you before, like reach out to apologize or to buddy up to you? Or did you ever run into any of them?
A few people, I saw a few people that actually bullied me, and, they apologized and all of this stuff. But I felt good when I felt like I had made something of myself, because, so many people telling you that you're not going to be anything, and, nothing you do is ever going to work. And for you to overcome that and actually make something of yourself, it feels good. Yeah. So for all of the people out there who are, being put down, God only really listens to your thoughts about you. So think the things that you want to happen in your life, and they will. I really believe that.
Well, the good news is I think people are more aware of bullying now, but it's still a problem. It's probably actually much worse of a problem now because of online bullying. Is this like an advocacy platform for you? Do you do work in for anti-bullying causes or anything like that?
Yes. And I would love to do more of it, because I definitely experienced it at the levels of just not wanting to go to school, not wanting to push through. There were times I wanted to give up, but I think it's important for people to know that the people that bully you, they're the ones, they're the weakest. They're really the ones that are struggling the most. But it's just so sad that's what people have to go through in their life. Some people, it's just not, I don't see a reason why somebody should be bullied. It's just sad that people feel like they have to do that to feel better about themselves.
I know you said all that bullying you were sadly receiving gave you fuel to succeed, but did you ever channel any of that experience, any of that pain, specifically into any of your lyrics or into any of your sad songs, any of your angry songs?
Yes. I mean, of course, you use as an artist, you use the emotions that you've experienced in your life to, bring authenticity to a song. I think, that's one of the beauties of being an artist, is that you can take, some of your darkest times and put them into your music, and that be your outlet. And that's why music can be a very therapeutic experience, because you use the things that you've been through in your life.
Mm-hmm. Well, since we're talking about early childhoods and about high school, I hope you don't mind me asking this. I know it must be a sensitive subject, but I read this and I'm wondering, is it true that you went to your prom with Kobe Bryant?
Yes, I that was one of the best nights I think of my entire life. Kobe Bryant, just a genuine soul, and I am just so blown away by what happened to him and what happened to his daughter. I actually talked to someone today about it, and it kind of threw me off, and I got very emotional. And so I'm sorry if it
No,
just
no, I'm sorry if
no, I'm sorry.
of course, I understand. We can move on. Back to the subject related to child stardom. You always seem to be on a very straight path. There are a lot of child stars. It's like really a cliche, a stereotype right now that a lot of child stars go off the deep end when they get older. They go to a dark place. They kind of go crazy. But you didn't do those things. And I'm wondering how you were able to stay on a straight path.
Honestly, Lyndsey, I've been through so much in my life, and I'm not a perfect person. I've had my share of bad times and things that I wish I could take back that are on the internet. Situations that I wish I never were in. But I can say that I've learned a lot, and I have to thank my parents and my foundation because I've always had a solid foundation, and I could always come back to that, when things seem to get out of order. It's important to have family, and it's important to have people that and your heart loves you, that will tell you when you're getting off, on the wrong foot, or you're not the best version of yourself, or so I've had some great people in my life to hold me accountable, but it hasn't always been great.
It seems you and your brother, Ray J, are very close. And I bet he was a really good support system to you, and you to him. Was it helpful to have a sibling who was in the same business as you and could kind of understand what you were going through in ways that most people can't?
Yes, absolutely. It's a blessing to have someone who knows exactly what you're going through, who can, you can go to their shoulder, they can come to yours, and you feel like you're not by yourself. You feel like you're not alone. So it's great to have a brother who understands and who knows exactly what I've been through, because we're in the same business. We both have been through some of the same things.
Are there any stories you have about how he helped you through a rough time or anything like that?
His whole thing is you're feeling down. Of course, he doesn't try to make everything into a joke, but just his presence and his ear and his way of his humor, and and ways to make things feel like everything is going to be okay. I went through one of the toughest times in my life, and he was right there. He just was. I'm here all night. If you want to talk about anytime you want to talk about it, I'm here for you. He just has that, that presence that makes you feel like, it's the hardest thing in the world, but you can make it, you can get through it. So I got a good brother.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about, but we don't need to get into that because obviously we've gone to some heavy stuff enough for the day. But you can't tell Ray J that I would love another season of For the Love of Ray J. God, I love that show. Our show was so good. And speaking of reality shows, reality TV, I know you were a judge on the very first season of America's Got Talent. You also competed on Dancing with the Stars. You and Ray J had a show on VH1, Family Business. And it's got me thinking that since you're known as the vocal Bible, would you ever want to be on a proper singing show, like as a judge on, like The Voice or American Idol?
Yeah, I would love American Idol is that's one of my favorite shows of all time. I love that show. I would love to be a judge on one of those shows. When my music is in a place where I want for it to be, I would love to settle down and do something like that. That would be awesome because I love serving others. I love being an influence. I would love to give advice and, put positive feedback and uplift someone else's dreams. That would be a dream of mine come true.
Oh, well, I would love to see that happen. Oh my God. Well, before I let you go, just a little kind of very LA-centric question, but I was really looking forward to the Lovers and Friends Festival, which is this R&B and hip-hop festival that's coming up in LA that has you and Lil' Kim, Usher, TLC, T-Pain, amazing lineup. And it was originally supposed to be in May and has now been moved to August, but I'm wondering with everything going on in the world, if you have any intel if it's still going to happen in August, because, obviously I don't know what's happening.
I don't either, honestly. If it happens, I will definitely be there. Hopefully, we can all come together again. I don't know what is in store for the world, but I'm hopeful.
Yeah, me too. How are you holding up, during all this craziness, isolation, quarantine, whatever you want to call it? And are you doing any live streams to reach out to your fans directly? I mean, besides the sitting in my room challenge, which, we already discussed.
With the single coming, I'm going to be doing a lot more interacting with people. I think it's great that we have another way to reach people that we love. And, but it's been tough, just the uncertainty, not knowing what's going to happen and just trying to trust that the universe knows exactly where we are and how to, pull us out of something like this. I really have trust that we will be okay, honestly. Wow.
Well, when you say that, that makes me feel better. It makes me want to trust the universe. So thank you, Brandy. You're so positive.
Trying to be.
Before I let you go, can you give me any more details about the album? Title, street date, anything else?
The fans named the album B7, so that's the title. I'm definitely looking forward to the summer when it's released. Baby Mama is coming super soon, video super soon. And I just appreciate this moment, just talking to you and going back into my past and remembering all these things that I haven't thought about in a while. And yeah, so I appreciate you. And shout out to Alex, who has us all intact.
Alex has been working behind the curtain, making the mystery man behind the curtain.
God bless you. I would love to talk to you again. I felt like I was talking to an old girlfriend. It's cool.
That makes me feel so good. Well, definitely when the album comes, then we can do it in person by then.
Love it.
This has been a real treat. I've loved this conversation. So thank you. And thanks to everyone listening. I'll be back Monday with more Volume West from Home with Davey Havoc.